Hi, my name is Brian LaPayower, and this is LaPayower Report. On today's program, we'll be talking about personal development, and the guest for this topic is Sabomin Dave A. Howell. Sabomin Dave A. Howell, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
Okay, and we'll be talking about personal development. Before we get into our topic, tell us about yourself.
Well, Brian, I've been in the personal development field for 37 years. Part of that has consisted of martial arts training, life coaching, life strategist, and peak performance coach.
Okay.
And also, I'm a minister.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ordained minister?
Ordained minister, yes.
Okay. And you came all the way from Short Hills, New Jersey?
Short Hills, New Jersey is where I currently teach martial arts, the martial art of Taekwondo and Hapkido at the Can Do Fitness Center.
Okay. And also, just to make viewers aware, you were referred by one of my guests and friends, DeVito.
Yes, Mr.
But
DeVito.
you also teach DeVito's son, Erie.
Yes, I do. I have the privilege of teaching Erie. He's a great student, very, very disciplined, and a lot of energy and focus.
Okay. Okay. And so we're going to begin with the personal development. So what can you tell us about personal development?
Well, what I find, Brian, is that everyone in their life, no matter what part of life they're in, is looking to get better at whatever they're passionate about. And a lot of people are stuck with their dreams. And what I do, I come alongside them and I help them to move from dream to fruition of the dream. That's where the coaching comes in. And so when you talk about personal development, we also talk about building all the pillars of your life. You know, we're not just consisting of one part person. We are a spirit, we have a soul, we live in a body. And we have our natural side of us, which is our body, we have our mind. And when you just address one part of your person, then your body or your life is going to be out of balance. And what we're looking to get is harmony. And you know, everyone wants to have harmony in your life.
We all do.
Yeah, we want to have harmony, but it seems like it's that unreachable or unattainable thing. And so what a coach does is gives a person the tools and helps them strategize how they're going to achieve whatever that goal is. And really it's being better than what you are and being the best at who you can be.
Okay. Tell us about these tools.
Okay. One tool that we have that's very common is planning. Mm-hmm. You know, it's one thing to have a dream, but how is that dream going to come to fruition? Well, you have to have a plan.
Right.
You have to have goals. And you have to have plans that are realistic, concrete, and that you're committed to. You know, in the area of health, for example, people say, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. And so I set it. I've been thinking about it. I have to get a vision of what that weight loss image looks like to me. What is that? What am I going to look like when I achieve that goal of losing weight? And then once that is securely or concretely in my mind, I then go about setting down a plan, an action plan, how I'm going to achieve that goal. Is it going to entail me working out 3 days a week, 5 days a week? What in my diet do I have to modify in order to make sure that I have a balanced, because you can't take care of the outside and neglect the inside because you're not going to be in health any more than you can take care of both those parts of your person and not deal with the mental part of you. You're not going to be in complete health. And so we lay out a plan, and what I do, I hold you accountable to your commitment. See, you're not walking in my goals. You're walking out your goals, your life's action plan, and I hold you accountable to it and assist you where we might fall off track or things like that, and give you tools to keep you focused, because you know there's a mental component also where people, they get tired in the journey. You know, a lot of people want to sprint to our dreams, and you know, dreams that are going to last are not going to be achieved in one day. Okay. And so that's one of the foundations we have.
Okay. In planning here, because I mean, a lot of people. I mean, one thing you mentioned was weight loss here, and a lot of people do struggle with that, which also leads to obesity. Because myself, I've been trying on and off. I don't have any like steady diet or anything. Maybe because I ate like too many of the wrong things, like maybe too many carbohydrates, which of course is not good.
Okay, you're talking about the results.
Right.
And What we do is get to the root.
Right.
What is, you said you've been trying it on and off.
I don't know if I do drink a lot of water at times.
Okay.
Lately, I've been stressed out
Okay.
and stuff.
Well, you have to answer this question, Brian.
Sure.
What does a healthy Brian? What is the ultimate picture for you of what Brian should look like as a healthy, fit person? And then, when you achieve that person, that Brian that's out there waiting for you to grab him, what is your life going to look like then? Because there are going to be benefits from that. And when the benefits outweigh your current fight with trying to overcome the hurdle of stick-to-itiveness, then guess what? You're going to stick. You're going to stay to the plan because you see a concrete picture of what you want to look like, and you see the benefits of achieving that goal. What is your life going to look like overall? You understand? Because every pillar of your life is connected. And so when you say I address my dietary issues or challenges, that's going to carry over into other areas of your life. And here's another thing we're talking about: discipline.
Sure.
Discipline. For example, I recall a situation with a smoker who couldn't stop smoking, as they said.
Really?
And so one day.
How old was this? If this curiosity?
I would say at that particular time, late 40s, maybe early 50s, give or take. And the daughter, his daughter came into the living room where he was watching TV, and said to him, sat down by him, and kind of engraced herself to his space. And then she said, Daddy, I want you to be around for my high school graduation. Now, this man had tried several forms of smoking cessation, trying to stop, quit, etc. But that stimulus of his daughter giving him a future picture of her and her wanting him to be by her side in the future to see a graduation, that was all the motivation he needed.
Yeah.
He made a decision then and there. See what he did? There's something clicked in his neural pathway of thinking.
Really?
You understand? Yes. That changed his thoughts of every time I start, I hit a roadblock. That was his mental log up until that point. And that's probably what you've been going through also.
Right.
You get to a certain point, you hit that same roadblock or maybe a step past it, and then you plateau, and then you kind of condition yourself to go through the same cycle. You've conditioned yourself, this is my norm. I'll go at it, I'll stop. I'll go at it and stop. But how do we break the cycle? How do we break that chaotic cycle? And one thing about water,
yes.
Water is fluid. It always finds a way. No matter where you place water, water always flows downhill. It finds a way no matter where you put it. And that's the mind. An unclogged mind will always find a way to achieve the goals that's best for you.
Okay. Now, you said the person was a smoker, and he
Life smoker.
Life smoker.
A confessed life smoker.
Really?
Yes. And his daughter came and sat in his space. Didn't say, Daddy, you should quit smoking because you know it's not healthy for you. Didn't take him through all those. Just got to the heart of the matter. You're my father. I'm your daughter. I love you. You love me. And I want you to be at my graduation 9 years from now. I want you to see me graduate.
Okay.
That was a moment for him. And he decided that the benefit of seeing his daughter, being healthy, being here, not only being present, but being healthy, because he can be there
Right.
and be sick and still not enjoy her graduation. But he made a commitment. I'm not only going to be present, but I'm going to be fully present. I'm going to be healthy in my mind. I'm going to be healthy in my body, so I can take in that whole event of my daughter reaching a major goal in her life. And he then began to stop. He just stopped. No one had to motivate him. No one had to coach him. That was all he needed. So sometimes we got to look for that one thing that'll give us the resolve to go, that's it.
Now, the daughter and she came to you, or both the daughter and...
No, it was the husband. It was the husband.
Oh, the husband.
But yeah,
was he also obese too, by any chance, or he was just most...
It was. No, I wouldn't say he was obese. He probably was probably heavy for his age and size. But outside of that, I was really helping him with some overall. He wanted to move from one place of his life to another, and that included getting over the addiction of smoking.
Right.
But his daughter was the stimulus that changed him. It was enough for him.
Yeah.
Well, here's the key, Brian. His daughter
Yes.
meant more to him than anything.
Really.
His daughter meant more to him than his addiction to cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter meant more to him than his addiction to alcohol or whatever.
Yeah.
So you have his affection
Yeah.
for his daughter, the apple of his eye, the cherry in his heart, and his addictions. And we can, you can put anybody here. It can be anybody in the middle. You weigh it out. You go, my health
Mm-hmm.
or my struggles. My health or my struggles. My health or my struggles.
Mm-hmm.
Whichever one you give weight to, that's who's going to or what's going to rise and
Okay.
take preeminence.
Okay. Now let's get on. Now, what's another two besides the? Okay, we talk about
You
planning.
talk about planning. You
Okay.
you talk about planning, and now depending on what we're talking about specifically,
Yeah.
I have to give myself a timetable.
A timetable.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I've heard it said that a goal or a dream
Mm-hmm.
without a date
Right.
is a nightmare
Mm-hmm.
or fantasy.
Really.
Yeah. So we have to give ourselves a time period, because time helps lock us in,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
If we just leave it open ended, it's okay. Let's say I'm 20 years old and I say I want to compete in the next Olympics of
Yeah.
in bobsledding or whatever,
Mhm.
and that's all I say.
Yeah.
Well, which Olympics are we talking about?
Okay.
That was the next one. 2012,
Oh, we're coming
16,
up. No,
the
2014.
2014. All right. So if I just say, if I don't put a date on it,
Yeah.
you or anybody else in that conversation will not know what date I'm talking about, what Olympics I'm talking about. 2014, 2018, 20.
Yeah.
So when I say 2018,
Yeah.
now what happens now? I know that I have to be in a certain shape.
Right.
I have to have a certain level of expertise
Mm-hmm.
by that time. So my life now starts to take on the form and the organization of what it's going to take for me to become an Olympian.
Really.
What is it going to take? It's going to take training,
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice,
Yes.
discipline,
Mm-hmm.
focus. You follow what I'm saying to you? So putting a date on goals is very important, because that's part of the commitment process. It helps us stay committed. It helps us stay on target
Okay.
in terms of what we're trying to achieve.
Okay. For an individual, what will be the shortest time amount? I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, 1 day is not going to do it. 30 days is not going to do it. Maybe it could do it. Any client that had like a short amount of time?
Well, it depends on what we're talking about. I mean, people are doing different things. You have people who want to, for example, want to change careers.
Yeah.
People, because not everybody's dealing with addiction to alcohol or cigarettes, or people just want to make life changes, and for whatever reason, they don't feel as though they have the discipline or the willpower to do it on their own.
Really?
So here's an interesting thing, Brian.
Yes.
We've all had coaches our whole life. Every teacher that you've had in your educational history at some time was a coach to you, whether they knew it or not. If they took individual time to develop you, to help you reach goals, they were coaching you. Some of our greatest achievers in every genre of life, whether it is in business, entertainment, the arts, if you check them out, if you interviewed them,
Yeah.
if you read their story, they have coaches. I mean, sports, we can go to the immediate, an obvious one. Actors, businessmen, they have coaches. These are the top achievers who have coaches. And you say, well, does Bill Gates need a coach?
I'm sure he did.
He did. Does he still employ a coach? I'm sure he does. You know why?
Why?
Because Bill Gates and people like that who are high achievers and peak performers don't settle for where they are.
Why is that?
Because they have tapped into the infinite part of us that does not settle, meaning just because I reach a goal, life doesn't stop. The greatness that I believe we all came to the planet with is vision. And when you tap into the vision within, you are not satisfied with just a nominal living. Now, I don't mean in terms of obtaining things in this world. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about living life to the maximum in the capacity that is you.
Okay.
You'll never know what that is if you don't challenge yourself to find out what it is first and foremost. And then when you've discovered it, you push yourself, you challenge yourself, you develop yourself so that you are becoming on a regular basis the best Brian. You know, they often said, I heard an expression that good is the enemy of great.
Really?
And it really comes down to what your choices are, what you decide to do.
I never heard that slogan before. Who said that?
I can't quote them right off my head. I would do it injustice, but I know it's a quote. It's not original from me. But yes, it says good is the enemy of great. So if you know you could be great and you settle for being good, what have you missed out on? And furthermore, when you are at your best, people around you associated with you benefit from that overflow. So it's not a selfish endeavor just to better myself to become the best me just for the sake of being me. I'm bettering me so that I become a blessing and a benefit to those around me. That's really the true essence of life, you know, personally speaking.
Okay. By any chance, do you use any charts or anything?
What charts in terms of?
Like, in other words, like plan it out on, I don't know. A lot of people use, I mean.
No.
No?
No. I'm a man of prayer.
I'm thinking of a pyramid, really.
Oh, no. I know.
Not like a scheme. I know what we're talking about.
No, I don't use any charts. I'm really into the human component, and I really.
So you're mastering the mind.
It's really about helping someone tap in to their inner potential.
Right.
We all have it.
Yeah.
Some of us can tap into it on our own with a little help from someone else.
Yeah.
Some of us need a little more help in doing it for different reasons. Doesn't make a difference. The fact is that you make a choice to get there. You know, I believe that when you stop growing, you stop going.
Yeah.
You know, you're just really stagnant in your life, stagnant in living, and you're really not living. You know, life is really living every day to its fullest. You know, because days gone are days gone. We never get the day again. You understand that?
Right.
So, no, I deal really with finding out where they are. I ask questions. I ask a lot of questions because I can't help you if I don't know where. First of all, what it is you're seeking to accomplish, who you are, and where you are in your life right now. And you know, and then I can assess well what is making you stay stuck, or what it is we can do in terms of strategizing to move you forward in the areas of life that you want to really grow in.
Okay. And it's okay. So, okay. So we go on planning, timetable. What will be the third thing?
Third thing would be doing it. Doing it. Yes.
That's tough.
Doing it. Yep. Going back to our example, for example, if an individual came to me with a desire to become healthier. And that doesn't mean, you know, people always think that means losing weight. That's not necessarily true. You know, I had a young man, I call him a young man, 72 years young.
Okay.
He started martial arts 2 weeks ago with me. 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yes. He said, I haven't worked out in 30-something years.
That's incredible.
He's a smoker, but he decided, after checkup with a doctor, that he wanted to spend the rest of his life, whatever that means, that we're talking about quality now. He wants to spend the rest of his life in the best possible shape he can, mind, soul, and body. So I'm coming alongside of him as an instructor to help him, to coach him, to teach him in the way. Now, if I tell him, okay, we're going to address your dietary regimen for 6 days, I'm not going to actually do anything else. This one thing. For 6 days, 7 days actually, 7 days, in addition to whatever else you're doing as far as eating, just eat 1 apple a day. For 7 days, 1 apple. That's all I'm asking you to do. So if he comes back to me and he says, okay, I'm ready for the next thing. I say, okay, let's review what you've done. I said, how did you do with the apple eating? I did all right. What does all right mean? 5 out of 7. 5 out of 7. What does that mean? I ate an apple 5 out of 7 days. Oh, okay. All right. So what's going on next week, sir? I go, same assignment. You didn't complete the first assignment. Very simple. 1 apple a day. If you can't do the simple thing, the moral of that story is if you can't do the simple thing, me giving you a whole table of to-dos is not going to help. It's going to overwhelm you. Mm-hmm. So we have to learn to take incremental or baby steps. You know, they said The first step is, you ever heard that quote? The longest step in a trip of 1,000 miles is the first step. It's the first step. Once you get going, the ball is rolling. The water is moving and flowing. It becomes a whole thing of progression and energy. But getting that first step. And so once we learn to complete the little assignment, the little tasks, because that's where most people are stuck, Brian.
Right.
It's doing the little things. You know, we can eat the slices.
Right.
You know, we can eat the pie, but the slice is what we need to do. Because the slice is going to enable us to control what we're doing and monitor and regulate. And in order to have a disciplined life, that's what you need to do, is to be able to say, this is what I've done, this is what didn't work, let me go back to the drawing board, recalibrate, reassess, and then plug back in and go again.
Okay. Now, when he said he had about 5 out of 7 apples, and yet there are about at least, except for February, 28 days in a month, unless he did this in February, then he had at least about 20 apples, but he had about 5 out of 7.
Well, the assignment was given to him. The assignment was given to him on a 7-day course, meaning it's a small window.
Right.
And it wasn't so much the apple, Brian. The thing was to see, can we take simple instructions if we're really serious about what we say we want? Because a lot of times our mouth speaks a thing, but our mind is not engaged with it. And if our mind is not engaged, there's no way we can't expect our body to become engaged in it.
Do you suppose you substitute an apple for an orange?
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. But the assignment was for him, I'm going to cross-pollinate now. If the assignment was for him to get up and do a mile, and I just says, do a mile tomorrow.
Yes.
I didn't say when to do it, how to do it. On your treadmill, on the street, in the park, that's your choice, but do a mile tomorrow. You know, him coming back and saying, you know what, I did 3/4 of a mile, then he didn't complete the assignment.
Right.
You understand? So we have to be not only goal-oriented, but really focused on completing the goals that we set.
Right.
It's empowering, Brian. We say, why is it so important? Because that is why we stay stuck.
Yeah.
Because we don't complete the goals that we've put in front of us, that we set for ourselves. Not what someone else has set for us, what we have set for ourselves. So when we complete small tasks, it's like filling up the car with gas.
Right.
It gives us more momentum now for the next task. And as the tasks increase in size and quantity, then guess what? We're able to digest and handle them. Why? Because we've practiced on a smaller scale. What we do on the micro scale will translate to what we do on the macro scale.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So planning timetable, doing it, and will be the 4th one.
Well,
We have at least about small time left because we're only a half an hour program.
Okay. Once you do it now, they say about anything about success. One of the things that I'm learning about success is it's one thing to get there.
Yeah.
But you probably heard this twice. It takes a certain amount of effort to get to a successful place in anything.
Yes.
But it takes twice as much effort to maintain it.
Really?
Okay, so now that I've achieved this goal, how do I maintain it?
Yeah.
Well, if it took me, let's just say, 150% of my energy to get there, it's going to take 200% to maintain it.
Really?
And you can use it. You see that in sports, for example, a team sports concept wins a championship, whether it's football, basketball, or such. Well, the next year now, they have a target on their back.
Really?
Everybody's coming after them. So they can't just be as good as they were before when they were trying to become champions. Yeah. Now that they're the title holder, they have a target on their back. Everybody's coming after them. They are the goal now. So they have to be more prepared now, because now the year before it was just them competing against themselves to be the best them and achieve the goal of a title. Now they have to keep off contenders. Okay. You know how hard that is? So hard. Here, bring it back to the personal and individual. How do we contend with the opponent of me? Right. Because it's me against me. It's the inner me against the enemy. Right. You understand what I just said? The inner me against the enemy.
Gotcha.
Right? So if I can come to the place where I take control, I discipline myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I set a goal, an action plan,
Yes.
and then put it into play and reach that goal. Once I reach that goal, it's not a time to exhale, whether it be weight loss or anything like that. Now, how do I maintain that? Well, I definitely have to continue to do the things I did to get there, but I have to do more to keep it.
Yes.
And then in doing so, I then now can go to the next level, because there's always a next level, Brian.
Right.
There's always a next
There's
level.
always going to be a level for everybody. But
Yes.
the time's actually running short.
Okay.
Sabomin Dave A, Howell, I definitely want to thank you for coming on the
Brian,
program.
thank you for having me.
If anyone out there wants to make contact with you, how can they do that?
They can contact me at 908-398-1450. That's 908-398-1450.
Okay.
Or at my email at dahj1j2@gmail.com. That's dahj1j2@gmail.com.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you very much.
I definitely want to have you come back on the program.
Yes,
as
I
well,
would be glad to come back.
If anyone out there wants to make contact with me, they can write to the studio or email me at lapayowreport@gmail.com. They can find LaPayower Report on Facebook as well as YouTube. And also, I'd like to thank Guy Cormier, Fred Kasha, my manager, and also the accounting firm of AJC Advisors. To the viewers, my name is Brian LaPayower, and this was LaPayower Report. Thank you for watching, and happy holidays.